Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. There's a storm brewing inside the Dolphins' locker room, and the tension might be reaching a boiling point. TYREEK Hill, one of the brightest stars in Miami's offense, has reportedly dropped a bombshell that's shaking the foundation of the team. Sources close to the situation suggest that Hill has made it clear he won't be playing alongside TUA TAGOVAILOA anymore. Yes, you heard that right. TYREEK Hill, known for his blazing speed and clutch plays, is apparently at odds with his own quarterback. Rumors are swirling that Hill's frustration goes beyond just on-field chemistry. There's talk that TUA is actually disliked by a significant portion of the Dolphins roster. This revelation, if true, could explain some of the Dolphins' struggles this season and hint at deeper fractures behind the scenes. Imagine the implications if this tension escalates further. The Dolphins invested heavily in TUA TAGOVAILOA, hoping he'd become their franchise quarterback. But if a key offensive weapon like TYREEK Hill is refusing to play alongside him, it raises questions about the locker room dynamics and the leadership within the team. Could this be the reason Miami's offense isn't clicking as expected? Fans and analysts alike are starting to speculate that Hill's public or semi-public comments might be a strategic move to push management into making a change. Maybe it's a subtle way of saying, if Tua's here, I'm not. That kind of ultimatum from a star receiver could cause serious headaches for the Dolphins front office. What makes this story even juicier is the suggestion that the discord isn't just between Hill and TAGOVAILOA but spreads throughout the team. The rumor mill is buzzing with whispers that TUA might be unpopular, even hated, by other players in the Dolphins' locker room. That's a serious charge in any professional sports environment. If true, it would mean the quarterback is facing isolation, which could severely affect his performance and confidence. Imagine stepping onto the field knowing your teammates aren't fully behind you. It's a recipe for disaster. And the fact that such information might be leaking out to the media suggests the divide is wide and public enough to impact team morale and public perception. For a team trying to build a cohesive identity, this kind of internal strife is disastrous. The Dolphins had high hopes entering the season, especially with a talented offense featuring TYREEK Hill and TUA TAGOVAILOA working in harmony. But what if the harmony is all smoke and mirrors? What if behind the scenes, Hill's refusal to play with TUA and the resentment brewing in the locker room signal a collapse in trust and teamwork? That's the story making rounds right now. It's as if the Dolphins are a ticking time bomb, with the fuse lit by player discontent and fractured relationships. Coaches and management must be scrambling to contain the damage before it explodes. Publicly, speculation also points to potential fallout beyond just the locker room. If TYREEK Hill is serious about his stance, the Dolphins might have to consider drastic roster moves. Trading a player of Hill's caliber would be seismic for Miami's franchise. But if keeping TUA means losing Hill or vice versa, management faces a difficult choice. Could this tension lead to a mid-season shakeup? The idea of TYREEK Hill demanding a trade or forcing the benching of TAGOVAILOA is already fueling headlines and fan debates. Every game from here on might be overshadowed by the question, how will this drama affect the Dolphins' playoff chances? The coaching staff, led by Mike McDaniel, is reportedly in a tough spot. Balancing the egos and expectations of star players is always tricky. But dealing with a potential rift like this could test even the most experienced coach. There's chatter that McDaniel is trying to mediate, attempting to keep the peace and focus on football, but insiders say it's an uphill battle. Coaches often preach unity and collective effort, but if a vocal player like Hill publicly distances himself from the QB, it undermines that message. How can a coach maintain discipline and morale when the team's biggest weapon openly voices such dissatisfaction? Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? Fans and commentators are also joining the conversation with a mix of shock, disbelief, and curiosity. Social media is buzzing with reactions, some siding with TYREEK Hill, praising his courage to speak out, others defending TUA, highlighting his talent and resilience despite the criticism. The ripple effect of these rumors is affecting how the Dolphins are perceived nationally. A team once viewed as a rising contender is now grappling with potential locker room chaos. And that narrative alone can impact player confidence and fan support. The pressure is mounting, and every next move will be closely scrutinized. What remains unclear is how the Dolphins front office will handle this situation behind closed doors. There are rumors that discussions are ongoing about possible solutions, whether it's counseling, team-building exercises, or even considering personnel changes. The stakes are high not only for the current season but for the franchise's future. If TYREEK Hill and TUA TAGOVAILOA truly can't coexist, the Dolphins may have to choose one path and commit fully, even if it means shaking up the roster or coaching strategies. The management's response will likely define Miami's trajectory in the coming years. Meanwhile, the players themselves are staying mostly silent, fueling even more speculation. The few comments coming from the Dolphins camp have been carefully worded, avoiding confirmation, but also not fully denying the rumors. This silence only adds fuel to the fire, making the story even more tantalizing for the media and fans. Will the Dolphins eventually address the issue head-on, or will they let this simmer quietly until it blows up into something bigger? The football world is watching, waiting for the next move in this unfolding drama. In the end, this situation reveals just how fragile team chemistry can be, even among elite athletes. The Dolphins have all the talent they could ask for, but if the players don't trust and support each other, it might not be enough. TYREEK Hill's revelation, whether fully accurate or part of a larger narrative, could be the crack in the foundation that Miami needs to confront if they want to realize their championship dreams. For now, the Dolphins' future remains uncertain, with plenty of drama still to unfold. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!